Hi, Amanda, Seint Artist. Okay, I'm gonna do my makeup. I'm gonna take it down to the basics. So when you decide you wanna try this makeup, which we know you do, I'm gonna ask you for a makeup-free selfie, facing the camera, looking out a window, just a couple steps back. I just need to see all of the tones, the light tones, dark tones, shadow tones, and then I will send you a laundry list of suggestions. But the first 4 colors I list are always the basic setup. Your main highlight, your brightening highlight, your contour, and then your blush. That is always the very basic. If you are wanting to just try this makeup, try 4 colors, grab a brush, and try the makeup, and then build. And that's what the rest of my list is for. If you just want to try just the basic setup, try it. And then when you say, oh my gosh, I love it, go back to the message I sent you, and there is a list of suggestions. You can get the bronzer, you can add some illuminators, you can add and try other lip and cheeks. You could try other contours, but for the sake of today, we're gonna keep it basic. I'm gonna do my face with 1 brush and the 4 basic setup. All right, so let's dive right in. So to set this up, always, always, always put your main highlight next to your brightening highlight. I'm using a really dramatic difference in tones for the sake of showing you the basic setup, but sometimes your main color and your brightening color can be very similar, so keeping them side by side is key so you can see which one's darker, which one's lighter, because the darker one is the truest tone to your skin. The brightener is actually 2 or 3 shades lighter than your actual skin tone because it's supposed to brighten. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to be using the 3D brush today. All of our brushes are double-ended, beautiful brushes, and they work really well with the makeup. All right, so the first color I'm going to go into is my main highlight. I'm going to go in with the shorter end, and I'm just going to tap into it and put a little bit on the brush. And I am just going to focus this down here on the beard of my face. So where you would normally see a man's beard, that's where we're going to put our main highlight. So we're just going to tap this down, and we're going to bring this up. Now, again, this is the truest tone to our skin. So all this is going to do is it's going to even out your skin tone. That's really what all these colors are doing, is we're adding to the flushiness, we're adding to the shadows, we're adding to the lighter parts, and we're adding to our main parts. So we're just evening out our skin tone to have a nice and natural look. This is also a really good look if you are more of a basic, natural. Typically I like it a little extra, but keeping it basic. So again, just adding, and I'm just tapping in. We don't swipe in because then you'll pick up too much product and then it'll be extra thick. So I'm just putting this on the beard just like that. And you can barely tell where it is because it's my actual skin tone. I'm gonna go in a little bit more, and I'm gonna come from this point to this point on my brows. And it's just, you can see here the difference because I'm a little darker here and I'm a little lighter right here. So I'm going to be adding my main highlight here because it's going to bring it all together. And that's it. That's all I do for my foundation color. That's what a main highlight is. It's replacing your foundation. We aren't going to matte our whole face out. We're just going to put it where it's needed. I'm going to flip it to the pointy end, and I'm going to go into my brightening color here. And I am going to touch this right here. And then I'm going to come down to my nose. I kind of like using my finger right here on the middle of my nose. And then right here on the tip, just like that, okay? I'm gonna go in a little bit more, and I'm picking up a very small amount. I'm gonna give myself a little Chaplin here, a little Charlie Chaplin, and then we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of brightness on our chin. And then we're just gonna tap this out and bring it to the main highlight. So we're marrying those 2 tones together. Now, with this part, you steeple little circles, but I want you to remember a light touch. So I'm going to take that brightness here, bring it to my main highlight, and I'm going to push this into my nose. I get a little bit red here, but I don't apply the makeup to that spot because it can cake, collect, and cause movement because you don't want to over apply where there's creasing already, and everybody creases right here. So I'm just moving the product there and giving it coverage. Right here, I'm just going to tap it and bring it to that main highlight that I had put on arch to arch and a little over my brows. I'm going to leave the bridge of my nose alone because I'm going to contour around it just like that. All right, And that's it for brightening. So I've just basically evened out my skin tone. The next color I'm going to go into, this is Astoria. It's a contour, really pretty color. And I'm going to take the short end and I'm just going to push into this and I'm going to put a little bit on and I'm going to go right here. I'm going to put this one's a little more dense. Sometimes the contours can be a bit more dense, but you can see here, all I'm doing is adding a little bit of shadow and dimension to my forehead. We have dimension on our face. It's our skull. Our head is round. There's gonna be dimension. So all this is doing is adding coverage and not adding layers. So I've just added that contour just to add a little subtle difference. And I'm gonna pull my lightness to that contour and marry it all together. And that's it. So I have one layer of makeup on, but I still have dimension. It's still dewy, it's still natural. Everything here, even my blush, is foundational coverage. All right, I'm going to go in and I'm going to pinch it and I'm going to push in and I am going to go to my cheekbone. So the key to your cheekbone contouring is feel for it and you're going to hug really close to it. You're not going to go on the cheekbone. You're not going to go under where you see your shadow. We're going to go just above it and we're going to blend it and it'll look like a shadow. So we can see my shadow here and my cheekbone is up here. So I'm going to go right in between and I'm going to do mine in a curve. Just like that. So pinching it, pushing in, and we're just gonna go into a curve here. And I am just under the top of my cheekbone, but I'm not at that shadow, okay? Okay, next I'm gonna just take what's left on the brush and I'm gonna steeple over this and I'm just blending this out and I'm going to under blend it because I'm gonna be putting on a blush color here. And so I'm going to be blending it a little more. So I want to under blend it so you can still really see it, but it's not gone. I'm going to take my finger, the ring finger, and I'm going to push into my contour here, just like that. And I'm going to come down on the side of my nose on either side of that brightening. And I am going to basically just, again, do shadowing because we have shadowing on our nose. I'm going to get the tip here. And all I'm doing, I have a little bit of a bump in the middle. All I'm doing is straightening that out. I'm gonna take my brush and I am really lightly gonna fluff this. And I'm gonna bring it to my brow and down. Again, fluffing this side, bringing it to the brow, bringing it down, and then I'm gonna rub the tip. And all I'm doing is taking that shadowing and I'm bringing it down and blending it so it looks natural. I'm gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna tap over that brightening that I put on the bridge of my nose. This is one of the best ways to do that without it getting all messy. So I'm just tapping over it and that's my nose, nicely contoured. I'm gonna use my finger again and I'm gonna push into that contour. If you have a contour, this is Astoria and it can be a little dense. The warmth of your finger will help this move and the warmth of your skin. I'm gonna go in front of my earlobe and come down my jaw. Again, just pushing into that, picking it up in front of the earlobe and down the jaw. And the warmth of your finger and the warmth of your skin will help with movement. My bra strap's showing. Ooh. All right. Now, here's how I blend this. Little circles, bringing this up towards the cheekbone. And then I'm just working up and down that jaw. And then I'm going to pull it down. And all this is doing is creating structure on your jaw. It can be slimming. My friend says it makes her lose 10 pounds. Sure does. And it's just structuring your jaw and adding some definition. And then I'm bringing it down. And anything left on my brush, I just put right here in case this little guy likes to hang out. My little gobbler. All right. There we go. We have contoured our face. The next color I'm going to go into is Frenchy. This is my cheek color, and I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to go right here in the middle of my cheek. This is a really nice neutral blush color, and I'm going to take the short end of my brush, and I'm just going to tap this, and I'm going to bring this up and down, and I'm going to smile a little so I can see where the apple of my cheek is, and I am pushing this, I'm going to add a little more, into the apple, and I'm also blending this into that contour that was right there because I was pushing up when I blended it, and it just adds a little bit of warmth. So there's that blush color, and I'm just pushing this up and bringing it down. And I'm just blending this onto my cheek. It's such a nice, neutral, not crazy loud blush. Great for if you like a natural look, if you want this really simple and you're learning how to use it. All right, I'm gonna switch to the pointy end and we're gonna go into the brightening again, and I'm gonna do my under eye. So with the under eye, it's a soft tissue, and if you're getting fine lines, if there's texture already, less is more. Less is more with your whole face, but especially under your eyes. So I'm gonna take that pointy end and I'm gonna pick up a little, and I am just gonna tap this into that corner right here. And I'm just gonna build this down. I'm not gonna go all the way across. I'm just gonna focus it right here. And then I'm gonna put a little bit right here. That's it. I'm gonna do the same thing over here with what's left. I'm just gonna empty this out so I don't end up over applying. Pick a little more up, and I'm just gonna put this right in this corner, coming up to the tear duct, and just making kind of a little triangle. And then right here, I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Adding right here adds lift to the eye also. All right, next what I'm gonna do is I'm going to press this. So we're just gonna tap this, and we're gonna bring this over to this color over here. So when we added it here, we're just gonna be tapping it. We're not wiping, we're not doing circles, we are tapping because it blends it out really nicely without adding a lot of movement to that soft tissue, because we don't wanna pull at that skin. We don't wanna make it more mature than it is. And pulling at that skin, like when you do your eyeliner, doing those things can mature that skin faster. My mom always told me to stop doing that, and I said it'll never happen to me, and now here I am, and I've got some texture and I've got some fine lines around my eye, and I blame the eyeliner trick. All right, so that's it. It blends out so beautifully with this color. I'm just gonna do the same thing here. We're just tapping on that triangle and we're bringing it over, meeting this brightening over here, bringing that down, and we're just working them together. The other nice thing is I like to do this after my blush because sometimes I get a little high when I put on my pink. This just kind of pushes it back down and gives it that coverage because it got a little crazy. And that's it. This is the basic setup. I'm flipping it to the bigger end and I'm just kind of playing with that blush a little, making everything look the way I want it to. That's it. That's the basic 4 colors. I did it all with one brush. I'm going to take my setting spray. I'm going to spray it up and let it fall on my face. But this is the makeup. It's one layer, a really thin coverage, but full coverage. So it gives you all, it covers all the imperfections you want without adding texture, and you have this beautiful, natural, dewy finish. If you like a matte finish, you can certainly put a powder over it, but this looks nice. This looks natural. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my contour and I'm gonna pop it right here, and I'm just gonna rub it under my lip. Just like that. And what this does is it adds that little shadow and it gives the illusion of fuller lips. I'm going to go into my brightening and I'm going to tap on my Cupid's bow here and up right here. And what this is going to do, it's going to make my lip look fuller and give it some dimension here. I'm going to take my contour again and I'm going to put this also on my lip as a lip color, liner, a filler, right like that. And that's my contour. I'm going to go into my lip and cheek, and I'm going to tap this and add a little bit of a soft pink. Look at this. Okay, 4 tiles. I've done my whole face, and I've given myself a really pretty nude lip. That's pretty. So it's my Astoria and my lip and cheek on my lips and on my cheeks. 4 tiles, my whole face, 1 brush. Pretty simple. Really super easy. So if you want to try the makeup, 4 colors, 1 brush. It's under $100, which you can't buy foundation, concealer, contour, blush, and a brush and something to hold it in for under $100. But now you can. All right, message me if you want to try this. Have a good day.